Hey guys, I'm Steve from Mr. Steve 3D, and my collaboration partner Sam and I have put together the isometric room generator specifically for Blender. This is a very powerful add-on. As you can see in the creation next to me, I don't have artistic skill, but I do have a powerful innate ability to troubleshoot, and it actually helps me write code. Therefore, I can work the Blender interface like nobody's business and create add-ons. However, the artistic touch is something I'm counting on you guys for. Sam and I are holding a contest, and we're going to host it on my Discord channel, and anybody who comes in will have an opportunity to submit a render to win add-ons. You'll win add-ons from both my page and Sam's and have an opportunity to be showcased. I really want everybody to get the fullness of this add-on, so I'm going to go over how I use Blender Kit to achieve the results I have here, which are very simple and very easy. And if you have the artistic eye and skill, you're going to blow this out of the park and you're probably going to win. So let's jump right in and take a look. Now this is going to be really easy. I think you guys are going to appreciate not only how powerful the add-on is, but how simple the add-on is. So two things, everyone. I think you'll really appreciate not only how powerful the add-on is, but you'll also appreciate how simple the add-on is. So this installs in the edit preferences under extensions, and when you type in a room, once you've got it installed, you'll see isometric room generator. If there happen to be any details, you could click view details, it'll switch you to add-on, and then the preferences that could be changed would be here. Just a quick tip for you for other add-ons. Now we show up in the end panel under IRG for isometric room generator. You can choose square or round room, and you'll see you have room settings and window settings. This icon is not currently embossed, but if you click right here or on it, it will expand and give you all the options. Room width, depth, and height can be changed here. The wall thickness, we drop this down. We can choose to have windows on the back side or both. I'll choose both. Square, round, or sash. Square is what it sounds like. Sash is going to be square with framing. Round is what it is. Change your window count and the percentage of these windows. Height, depth, all that good stuff. Simply click generate. You'll wait just a second and then you'll see what comes up, and it looks like I accidentally left this at 0.1. Did not notice that. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of all of these little windows as well. Let's put this back up to something like 0.50 and click generate. Now I'll have some nice big windows in there, easy to see. And once we jump over into cycles, we'll see that we already have individual windows here. You can mess around if you wish with the actual shader that's here. Change it as you wish. Now for the round room, we'll have this selected. You can check out the room diameter and prototype, play around with that and see how it works out for you. You have a floor depth, room height, and a wall thickness. You can leave it all standard the way it is. Come over and select either square or sash style windows, your window count, and then the percentage of the actual windows. I'll just put all of mine at 0.50 and go ahead and click generate. And then you end up with something like this. Now for this next part, I'm going to be using a few of my add-ons and Sam's. So we have a key capture here, and this is pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and start the key capture so you guys keep up with what I'm doing. Now come back over here. I'm going to select this cylinder that I got, so I'm going to show you guys how to just make a quick pool with an isometric room, really quick mod. I'll grab this, I'll grab the main body, and here's another add-on I made. You can get this free on my Patreon. It's called Set to Wire Boolean. Select that, and then I'm going to snap this to Union. I just want to go ahead and make sure I'm in object mode, grab my cylinder, which I applied scale on, by the way. I'll grab the top face, hit X, and delete that face. Control R, let's add a loop cut. I'll go ahead and place it, and then bring it up, and I'll hold Shift to get it just above the base here for our floor. And once I've done that, I can jump into face select. I'm going to go ahead and go right here between these two faces, hold Shift and Alt, and double click. Now you can search this right here. I have it in the quick favorites, but what you can do is say extrude along normals. Okay, so I'm gonna extrude faces along normals. Either way you go, you can make some faces and extrude them along the normals. Very simple. So now right here, I end up with the beginning or base part of a pool. So I think this is gonna work out really nice. So now from here, you would do something like add a shader in, and I don't have a pool top. Now we don't have any water for the top of our pool. So the good news is we're at world origin, so is the 3D cursor. If not, press Shift S, cursor to world origin or the center of your object. Sometimes you can achieve that very simply by grabbing the object, and if your 3D cursor is like over here, you could grab, say, this object, and let's grab the face actually, and I'll go back into object, Shift S, and then I'll do cursor to selected, and it'll put the cursor kind of down in the middle, but at least you get it in the middle. So Shift S, cursor to world origin is where I want to be. Now I'm just going to Shift A and drop in a mesh circle. Press 7, take up the top view. Let's scale up our water to something like this, to the edge of the pool. You may want to scale it a little inside if you want. Doesn't matter if it's clipping for something very generic like this. And now I can tab over into vertex select. You can do that up here as well. Object and edit, vertex, edge, face mode. Now I'm going to use an operator, press spacebar and type in grid fill, and you'll get this because we need actual subdivisions to make this work. Also, you can, kind of change how this looks over here and make some adjustments if you wish. I'm going to leave it just the way it is. Go back into object mode, add modifier, go to deform. Let's go down to wave. I've already got a timeline out, and if we press play, we get this wild mess right here. But let's go ahead and put a lasso on this wild horse, and I could bring the height up or down anywhere I wish. But what we want to do is drop down time and bring the speed to 0.1, and you'll get this. Is pretty good, but 0.02 or 0.01 is probably the best. Now I just want to do this on one axis, and my height is really up there, so if I go ahead and bring this down just a touch, I think that's pretty good. I can bring the narrowness down as well, and let's see, maybe bring the speed up a little. I think 0.01 is pretty good. And for the height, make adjustments until you kind of get what you want. I think something like that. Now that looks pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and shade this smooth. And if your computer can handle it, you can go ahead and hit add modifier, generate, and add a subsurf level 1. And then you'll get a lot better results. Now, I'll use Blender Kit, which I already have installed, and I'm just going to type in water in the search bar, and then let's go ahead and stop this animation so that will load, because it does take some resources, and we can pretty much put whatever we want. I think if I type in pool water, it'll probably come up with something. So then you've got something with some caustics in it. This is nice. These things will significantly slow down the PC, so you definitely want to be careful with how much you're doing. And then we end up with this gizmo right here, which isn't too bad. And I've just, I don't think the pool water is going to be waving that much, but it could be. And of course, you can make some other adjustments. I think this looks pretty cool so far. Now let's go ahead and pause that. I'm just going to do a quick addition here before I post this tutorial. And the shader here, if you pull up the shader editor, you can go from UV and do object to vector here. You can go over to the materials and you can drop the alpha back, probably around 0.5 something, and make that look a little more natural. And then I'm just going to scale this out just a touch, and then we can see that looks a little bit better and almost looks like caustics. Kind of give you guys just a little bit of a one up there so you can make it look a little better. Now for these inside walls here, I'm going to grab our structure and go into face select, and I want to just select all of these and see how much of a pain this is going to be if I hit Control 1. Yeah, that's what I want. So I'll just go ahead and select all of this. And I know there's better ways to do this, guys. Don't beat me up. I'm just going for it. There we go. So now I've got everything selected that I want. I'll go to Material tab. I'm going to go ahead and click New, and I'm going to assign this. Then I'll grab the floor, click New with the new material, and I'll assign that. So now when I go back to Blender Kit and I start putting stuff on here, like, oh gosh, I guess we'll just do drywall, even though that doesn't make sense for being out there. How about rock wall? I like rock wall. I'm going to drop that there, so it'll grab that tag for the assigned material that we locked in. And we need something like a patio, and I've never searched that. But let's put in patio deck and see if anything comes up. You got a lot of things. I think the word deck is throwing that off. So there you go. This looks a little bit more like something you might see out by a pool. Let's go ahead and tag that in. And I think that's just going to be... Oh, that's fine. That's fine. That looks good. Possibly you could go into the shader if you wish. You want to get more bougie with it. And you could project this as object. And it'll kind of split that up maybe. If it doesn't, then you can bring the scale down and get something bigger like that. That also works nicely. I'll jump back over to the timeline. And I just went ahead and made these the same, top and bottom. Just kind of switch that up and hide the wireframe, and voila, now we've got a little setup here. Now, as far as Blender Kit, this is really simple stuff. You don't really need an explanation for this, but we'll go into just a little bit of it. And what we can say in Blender Kit is something like pool chairs, and then you can just drag in your assets. Some of these will come in with an empty, and the empty will control. You can rotate this on the Z, and then you'll get this kind of setup. And then of course you can add more of these in as you see fit, and I think they'll come in a little faster as one or more of these are actually appended in. You get just a little bit more, some tables and chairs and things we can throw in over here, make this more of a social environment. Let's get rid of that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So that, along with some lighting, and you guys can make a scene really, really quick. This is about as far as I'm going to go. I'll let you guys take it from here. The add-on speaks for itself. Extremely easy. Square or round room, and then under the square side here you'll have different window type options and so on. And don't forget, these come in collapse. I really appreciate everybody watching. Go ahead on over to the SuperHive Market page for Sam if you guys want to pick up this add-on. It's going to consistently be updated so that we can make it the absolute best for everyone. Jump on over there. I'll put a link in the comments, and thank you guys for watching the tutorial.